Easy, James here, and this is DJ Tips and Tricks number 2, and in this one we're going to look at cueing. Now, on the last video there was a few comments left, your video suggestions, so that's good, okay, excellent, because it's hard to try and think of what videos to do. So, you know, have a think as a beginner, whatever. What do you want, okay? You know, if you want to know anything about DJing, any little tips you want, just bung them as a comment below, and if I know how to do it, I'll show you. Now, even if it's not something I can physically show you, even if it's just a Q&A video, you know, what does this mean? What does that stand for? What does that word mean? Just leave it in a comment, and, you know, I'll do a video on it. I'll show you how to do it, or whatever. So anyway, on with the video. Like I say, in this one we're doing cueing. Now, it's kind of a bit difficult because this is something I can't physically show you how to do, because in order to cue properly you need to get a feel for the vinyl. Now, to do that you need to just practice, you need to have a feel for it yourself. I can't very well just say, yeah, go on, just stick your hand through the screen, yeah, come and have a feel of this, yeah, that's what it's like, you know, because I can't do that. So this is something you're going to have to practice on your own and just get the hang of. But I will give you a few tips on this, okay, because there are a few little things that will help you out here. Now, first of all, you need to just get, like I say, get a feel for the vinyl. Feel how much pressure you need to put on that vinyl to move it backwards and forwards without affecting the platter. Now, obviously it was moving there, but I mean when it's spinning. So here's a little exercise you can do, okay? Bung a piece of vinyl on your deck and start your deck spinning, okay? And then just practice moving the vinyl backwards and forwards, but without affecting the movement of the platter, okay? So it should be enough pressure to move the vinyl backwards and forwards, but not so much pressure that you're causing the platter to stop, okay? Now, another thing is as well, is it will feel different on different decks, okay? Because if you're using belt, you know, you might be using belt drives, and then they haven't got very much torque, so when you're moving the vinyl backwards and forwards, the platter might, you know, be like, "Way, have some of that," you know, so might not be very good there. But then when you go onto a pair of direct drive turntables, it will feel completely different, and the vinyl might start snatching at your fingers because there's a lot more torque. So it's kind of like when you're driving a car, you get used to your own car. You get used to where the clutch bites, you get used to the brakes, how heavy the steering is. And then you go and drive a completely different car and you've got to get used to it because you think, wow, the clutch bites right down at the floor and the brakes feel a bit spongy. You just have to get used to it. You have to, yeah, just get used to it. So it's the same thing with cueing. When you go onto a different pair of decks, or you get a new pair of decks, they maybe have got more torque, or they're direct drive from belt drive, it takes a little bit of getting used to. But once you've got confident and you've got a feel for the vinyl, you should be able to very quickly get used to a new pair of decks because you've already got the confidence there to just grab and move the piece of vinyl, okay? So again, just practice moving it backwards and forwards, and then you've got to practice confidently putting the needle on the vinyl like that, okay, without sort of dropping it, because I've watched a few people when they've been practicing and they've actually got the needle and just dropped it on the record. Now, it's not going to be very good for your needles, and it's definitely not going to be very good for your vinyl, so you don't want to do that. All you want to do is literally pick it up and then just place it onto the vinyl. Again, you're going to have to just go with it, try it out, and just get a feel for it. Okay, so once you've done that, I can give you a few tips which will help you when you're cueing, okay? And I'll show you one little thing which is really, really annoying, but it does happen even with new vinyls. Now, this piece of vinyl here, you'll notice it's got a little piece of paper in it, okay? Now, there's a reason for that, and what I'll do is I'll take it out and I will get the camera down and I'll show you, okay? Well, now if you look at that centre spindle there, watch what happens when I move the record backwards and forwards. You see, look, that's wobbling on there. That's because that centre hole has become slightly oversized. Now, this was a second-hand EP when I brought this, but a lot of new vinyls sometimes have a slightly oversized hole, and it does cause that to move backwards and forwards. Now, you're going to find that pretty difficult to cue like that, because when you find that first beat, so you can see the needle jumped, and again, see, so the needle's going to jump around all over the place. So here's a little tip which will help make that record a bit more stable and help you to cue easier, okay? All you've got to do is get a little piece of paper like that, a little strip of paper, and or maybe a Rizla or something like that, and all you've got to do is put it through the hole in the middle, about halfway, and then push it to the side, and then on the other side push that one flat, okay? Like that. And then when that's in the middle, and you put that back on there, see, that's nice and stable now, that's not going to go anywhere. And then when you're cueing up, There you go, it's not going to jump. So that will just help you out a little bit more. If you're having trouble with your needles jumping, it might be the fact that that hole's just become slightly oversized. So bung a piece of paper in it, job done. Okay, now another little tip is this, okay? When you've got this, let's say for example you've got this tune playing here, okay? We're a bit loud here. When you've got this tune playing and you want to cue this one in, you'll probably do something like this. Okay, then you've got the tune in. Okay, now did you notice anything there? Because if you didn't notice anything, it's probably because you do exactly the same thing. Now if you noticed, what I did was I got the record queued up in place, and then while the beat was playing, see, I actually beated it 4 times before I brought the record in. Now the reason why you do that is just so you can get it in time and get with the beat, and then when you actually do throw the record in, it's spot on and in beat. Now the only problem with doing that is if you keep doing that, you're going to get something called cue burn. Now there's a reason why I use this record again in this video, is because this one's actually got cue burn. Now I don't know if you can hear this, but have a listen to this, okay? Before the first beat you'll hear like a kind of sound. You listen. There, can you hear that? I'll turn it up a bit. See, that sounds horrific, and that goes throughout the whole first beat. You listen. And it stops there. So that is because what you've done is, well, what I've done is, sorry, I hope you haven't done it. Now you can hear it. I heard that first bar played and then played back in reverse just to get that first beat. Now I've already played that twice before the whole record's played. So if this record gets played 100 times, that's been played 200 times. So what's happening is you're actually wearing the first part of the record out before the rest of it. Like before, I went 1, 2, 3, 4 and then played it. So that's 5 times that first beat's been played more than the whole track. So if the track gets played 100 times, that first beat's been played 500 times, okay? And that's why you get that noise. It's called cue burn, okay? It's horrible and it sounds rank. So what you want to do is try not to it's inevitable. It's going to happen because you're always going to play that first beat more than the rest of it. But try not to do that and bring it backwards and forwards in time with the beat. Just once you've got it there, hold it there, and just, if you have to, just, tap or something like that, or just do something rather than doing that backwards and forwards, because you are going to wear that first beat out. Now the final tip I can give you is not really a tip, but it will help you out a little bit, is having decent lights, okay? Having decent lights will help you here so much. So maybe like a lamp or something like that, so you can see the first part of the groove. If you've got the option, okay, and you've got these cue lights, excellent, okay? And if you want to know how to get these LEDs in, I did another video on it, check out my channel. So yeah, some decent lights or a decent pair of cue lights will do the job, and it will help you out a little bit when you're learning, because you can see where you're putting the needle. And also if you're DJing in the dark or whatever, it also helps you out. But mainly it's just so that you can see where you're putting the needle on the groove. Halogen lamps I find are the best ones. They tend to show up the groove better than normal bulbs. So anyway, so that's pretty much all I can give you on that one. So I hope this video has been a help. Leave your feedback down below. And again, if you've got any other videos that you want done, bung them as a comment below. I'm still going through the ones off the other videos, so I'll go in order of how I received them, just to make it fair. And also I'll put the name of this tune in the description, but just in case it was eating at you and you want to know what it sounds like, I'll quickly play it for you. It's a bit jump up for me, but it's alright. So there you go. Hope this video's been a help. Thank you for watching. Nice one. Practice and enjoy.